morning, guys, and welcome back to the Now Morning Show, where we're talking about the National Secondary Schools Entrepreneurship Competition, which actually officially wrapped yesterday, the 11th of November, but it has been in existence for 9 years and going strong. So this morning, it's only fitting that we talk to the winners of this year's edition, as it continues to be a competition giving the youth dynamic development initiatives. This morning, we are joined by Mr. Nicholai Williams, the teacher of the winning school in St. James Secondary, and Naomi Stewart of Team PedalPeak, the winning squad on the Now. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Congratulations again, and I like the fact that you all are coming to us live from school, it would seem. Is that correct?
Yes.
Nice. So we'll start, Nicholai, with a sense of what it felt like to not just win, but win for the second consecutive time.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously it brought joy, right? And as a teacher, one of the main aims is seeing the potential students can achieve, right? And that's what we did. So I basically saw students achieve their potential yesterday. So it's just wonderful.
Now, Naomi, you are in Form 5, but was this your first entry in the competition altogether, or are you a veteran in a mix?
This was my first time.
And so how would you describe that, having known that it existed before, but delving in for the first time and taking the title?
It was really like nerve-wracking because from time to time, the score would go up, then you see it go down. So it was really nerve-wracking, but also motivating to see like the team actually doing good and actually achieving something.
I can imagine. Nicholai, you talked about seeing your students achieve their full potential, but to describe the win using or explaining what this competition actually achieves for students across the nation, how would you put it?
I would say, well, firstly, this competition, it gives you hands-on experience about running a business. So they get to they see the different aspects of a business. Marketing, production, inventory control. So that's something you don't see until you actually go out into the world of work. Right. And now they got a virtual chance to see it. So the competition, I think, is very important in developing a business mindset.
Sounds like we adults could use this also, but from the student perspective, Naomi, give us a little bit of your perspective on the biggest challenge that you clearly overcame, but something that probably was nerve-wracking as you described it.
One of the biggest challenges and the risk we had to take was to price we products at a certain price in order for the demand to be, correct. And that was one of the biggest challenges, deciding on prices and yeah.
I like that you said the biggest risk that you took is a risk that paid off. And I'm wondering if from that there are certain things that you're going to take into your future business endeavors or entrepreneurship endeavors. Anything that stood out to you personally then?
Yeah, really just the teamwork aspect of it. And that's how we had to communicate with each other and find each other's, like what we think would be the best thing to do. I think that was a good skill that we had learned from it.
Yeah, nobody likes group work, even in adult life. I can definitely say that. Now, Nicholai, you'd be able to tell us some of the qualities that your students embodied more so than at the start of the competition. What do you think they excelled at the end of it?
Well, I think the qualities I saw that they developed was initially in the competition, they were very risk adverse. They didn't want to take risks. But as the competition went on, they realized, yes, it's a risk, but the higher the risk, the higher the reward. And that's something I saw as the competition went on. They was willing to take more risks.
Seeing it paying off, so they're jumping in head first. If you had a message that you'd like to share with teachers or schools thinking about entering for 2026, what would you say to them?
I would encourage every school to enter. Is a great learning opportunity. It gives you a chance to also see the syllabus for principles of business, principles of accounts, economics, in a world scenario. Yeah. All right. So I would encourage schools to enter. Yeah.
And Naomi, you're speaking on behalf of the students. So what would you say to them thinking about being a part of the 2026 cohort, if you will?
I would say that, with a good mind, like even if you don't come out winning, you would still think that you learned something valuable for your future. So I would encourage people to want to do it and actually participate and try to learn something new.
Definitely some good advice. Of course, I will extend congratulations again because something tells me the hat trick is there. Next year, we're going to see St. James going up again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only a song too short there, but no pressure. I look forward to the opportunity to chat to you up once more and towards your future endeavors. For now, though, I do want to thank you for joining us and wish you all the best in putting that learning to good work.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, the winning school in this year's National Secondary School Entrepreneurship Competition, St. James Secondary, represented by Nicholai Williams and Naomi Stewart. Let me make mention, though, that we also say congratulations to Marabella North Secondary's Chain Reaction Team and Apex MNS Riders, who placed second and third respectively. Secondary schools excelling in the business arena means more entrepreneurs coming out with work experience technically. You know,
exactly.
For that. You thought about it too, don't even play.
But is it work experience or is it?
Well, because they actually provide 5,000 hours of training with each year. It's not actual work experience per se,
but
it definitely
like on an app.
Right, because it was all virtual.
Yeah.
But as Nicholai was saying, you see that confidence and that ability to make difficult decisions coming through. So it definitely sets them ahead.
Definitely, I think it definitely gives them that opportunity to be able to say, all right, this is the theory I learned, and let me see how it applies if I were to put it. So I guess that is work experience. You're right.
Yeah,
Good
definitely.
job.
The skills they're learning to navigate such a competitive landscape from a young age is an advantage, that is for sure.
Definitely. More than 40,000 hours of instructions, over 4,000 students. These statistics are incredulous. And in terms of the number of females, interestingly, up to 70% thus far of the participants have been ladies. So you're going to see some boss ladies, one of whom I will technically be talking to in our next conversation where entrepreneurship is concerned. So it makes sense. The numbers are panning out. But this is definitely one of those that we look forward to every year because the ideas that the students sometimes have are also incredulous. They see things differently and they don't have as the teacher was saying, the level of being timid when making those decisions.
Well, you said at first they did, but
right.
and then they realized if you make the big risks, then you can get big rewards.
But the
thing is a life lesson you learn along the way.
And that's the thing. They probably still have less hesitation than we would as adults, even though they did at the beginning. So I love seeing some of the plans and some of the businesses and I get some ideas.
That's it.
Or inspiration.
Let's go with inspiration.
Who knows?
Because it's always nice to give youth that platform to be able to say, well, this is what I think and this is how I think it will work, and they get a chance to try it. And it sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't work.
I want to see if it will work a third time for St. James, so that is quite the accomplishment indeed.
Like
and of course there are options for scholarships and internships, I understand, because a lot of the business community actually is committed to supporting the endeavor. So look at you all getting into the world of work with an extra big step into the door. That's brilliant.
100%, because if it's one thing we know, I mean, at least now, school doesn't necessarily prepare you for the world of work to that extent, to say the least. Trust and believe, so having that experience is necessary. But I mean, they're in their 9th year, which means that there's definitely going to be more great things to come, which also means the market might get a bit more competitive as the years go on as well.
The market's always competitive, man.
Could be more competitive.
You have to stand out, you have to make sure you have the discipline to do the work that's required, and that's a big part of what they're learning as well in this entrepreneurship program. So congratulations to the team putting it together, the Three Stone team. Big up every single time. And thank you guys so much for making sure that these students are able to see a way, a future using this technology, using this competition. And of course, it kind of ties back in as well to what we were speaking about with the Emancipation Support Committee in terms of giving them that knowledge that would help them move on to the next step. Yeah. So the things that you may miss in the education system in school, we have a responsibility as the adults in society to make sure that we stand in that gap. Yes, Ayinka, unfortunately, you are an adult as well.
Legally, I'm an adult. But I always say to the students in schools that the term adult really is just being able to deal with the consequences of your actions. That's the difference between us and a teenager per se. They're less responsible for their actions, we are more responsible for ours. So
speak for your own teenagers. I'm making sure you are responsibility. Your teenagers, try your best.
Accountability.
Thank you.
Anyway, so it's one of those things where I take pride in creating any sort of support system that would allow young persons to be better versions of adults.
Yeah. Guys, we're having a little bit of challenge this morning, some technical challenges. I'm not sure if we'll get the birthday shouts in today, but if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday to you. I hope that you enjoy the day to the absolute fullest. If we get the opportunity to, we will definitely celebrate you. But if we don't, sorry in advance, and we'll try to make it up for you tomorrow. Yeah? Let's take a quick break and we come back with more conversations here on The Now. Stay tuned.